Hello, hello, hello out there. How is everyone? Happy Friday. It is TGI Fridays. So I hope everyone out there had an amazing week. I know that there's a lot going on in our society and in our country as a whole. So I just hope that there's peace within your homes and within yourselves during this challenging time that our country is facing. And so just wanted to make sure I just highlighted that, and hopefully everyone is doing well and in good health and in good spirits. So once again, happy Friday. My name is Edwidge Dupard. I'm the Peer Mentor Coordinator for the First Year Services Peer Mentor Lab here at our amazing city, San Diego City College. And with me today, I have my dynamic, amazing peer mentor, Diane Torres.
Good morning, everyone. As Eddie was saying, happy Friday. Today, we want to go over some topics to assist you. As you mentioned, Torres, and I've been a student at City for about 4 years, and I look forward to presenting today to you this information.
Yes, yes. So today we are going to do our part two series of the City Ready session. So part two is going to help you pretty much understand what it takes to be successful in college. So we're going to give you some information on interpreting your syllabus, time management, connecting with your professor, so you can make the most out of your college journey and your college experience at City, and not only at City, beyond, in your universities, in your personal and professional life. So that's why City Ready Session Part 2 was designed. We also have a City Ready Session Part 1, which helps you navigate the online services at San Diego City College. We kind of go into the San Diego City College website. We tap into the Remote Student Services online webpage, also Canvas and My SDCCD. And I want Diane to tell you what we have in store for you for our last City Ready Session workshop next Friday, October 2nd. Diane, what do we have in store for these students?
So we have another fantastic City Ready session. We want to go over how to navigate the city website, the remote online city website, and also connect with you some resources that are available on campus, and how to contact these departments, and how to take advantage of these resources available to you. That is our first session before this one, and so we highly encourage you to attend that session. It will be our last City Ready session for right now, but we look forward to sharing that information on Friday, because we do want to be part of your success and help you and encourage you to take advantage of the resources available to you.
Yes, thank you, Diane. And so please, if you want to come and join us for this two-part series special feature next Friday, you will not be disappointed. I know some of you guys have been with us throughout the semester and summer. And so if you missed a part of a session, please join us, because we're going to be covering both of these topics. So I want to just go ahead and give you a little bit about me. I've been at City for almost 10 years now, and it's been amazing. I graduated, received my AA. I'm pursuing my BA, and it's been an awesome experience. And I just want to just dedicate and contribute my success to the support services and programs at City College. We have like an abundant amount of support programs that can help you achieve your goals. If you have like issues, obstacles, challenges that you're facing, we have those support systems for you to, kind of overcome those obstacles. And we have passionate, dedicated individuals, staff members, faculty, and counselors that really want to help you obtain what you need to, what you set out to do at City. So that's about me. And Diane, want to give them a little bit about you?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I've been a student for about 4 years now. I was able to graduate this past spring in small business accounting, which I'm very excited about. Right now, I'm pursuing a certificate in Spanish, but I'm also a first generation college student, so I understand the challenges that students can face, particularly when your parents do support you, but when it comes to college and how it is and how it works, they couldn't really assist me the way they wanted to. So having a peer mentor available to me, knowing that they were there for me and that they would answer my questions and refer me to the correct departments and resources really helped me in building self-confidence and building self-advocacy for myself. And now I do want to give that back to students today, because I know that nice feeling of being assisted and also supporting other students.
Absolutely, Diane. Absolutely. So without further ado, let's jump into the City Ready session. All right. I'm super excited. Are you, Diane? I don't know why I'm so excited today because there's so much good information. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Okay. And so let me just go right here and perfect. All right. All right, so today's topics that we're going to be covering are going to be syllabus navigation and interpretation, as well as getting connected to your professor, time management and study skills, and study success support services and resources. All right, so first, how to interpret your syllabus, right? What is a syllabus? All right, so a syllabus is a roadmap to the course and basically for you to obtain the expectations of the course. So the syllabus is going to lay out the contents and it's going to give you kind of like an overall view of what you'll be learning. It's going to have your learning objectives and also contact information from your professor. So it's basically a roadmap that's going to assist you on what to expect from this course and what the professor expectations are as well. Now, a syllabus will give you important dates and deadlines. So a syllabus is going to have dates and deadlines when your assignments are due, when your homework needs to be turned in, as well as dates and deadlines for you to either drop or withdraw from the class. Now, those are very important because there are times where we have good intentions, right? And we want to take 12 or maybe 15, 16 units. And we're like, we're going to take this class, we're ready, we're prepared. And when you get into the class, of course, life happens, or it seems too overwhelming for you, or you kind of bit off more than you can chew. So that's why they have these opportunities for you to either drop the class or withdraw from the class. And those are very important dates that you need to be aware of just to avoid or take the risk of receiving an F, because that could really negatively impact how your GPA score is calculated, as well as how other universities view you as a student. So I want you to take that into consideration. So along with the syllabus being a roadmap, kind of detailing out what the course entails, they're also going to have important dates and deadlines, not only on your assignments, homework, and quizzes and tests, but also on the dates that you need to be aware of to optimize your success, okay? Now, it allows you to know what's going on in the class. So basically, it's going to kind of give you a plan. Like I said, it's going to lay out the class, the whole semester, whether or not that's a 8-week class, a 16-week class. We also have 4 and 6-week classes. So it's going to kind of lay out the weeks all together as a whole. And then basically the syllabus is an agreement between you and the professor. So the syllabus is a contractual agreement that the professor has set forth. So the professor is saying, this is what the class is. This is the homework, assignments, tests that are going to be due. This is what you need to do in order for you to pass, okay? So basically it's a contractual agreement. You're saying that I'm going to do A, B, and C in order for me to pass this class. And so it's a good way to understand the the course. Also, the professor is going to give this to you possibly a couple of days before the class or the first day of the class. So now classes are all online and remote. So some professors will email you privately with the syllabus and, you know, honestly, the Canvas login information and all that you need for the course to get prepared. Or some professors just likes to provide it during the first day of the course. So you'll go on your Canvas, you'll look under syllabus. Usually it's a PDF form that you can download and save. It'll be right there in your Canvas shell. All right, so that is that. Now, what can be found on the syllabus? So on the syllabus, you're gonna see the professor's name, the office hours, the contact information, and the course title. So that's the context that will be found. And this is really important because you wanna know your professor's name. You wanna know the office hours because this is another way for you to connect with the professor in order for you to clarify any confusion, any issues you might be having, or just to get some feedback on assignments and homework. Get prepared for your test or your midterm or final. So you really want to pay attention to their open office hours, as well as their contact information, because all professors are different. Some professors will have open office hours through Zoom, and some professors like, you know, email me. I'd rather be emailed. So they have their own preference. And some professors have office hours through Zoom. You can email them privately. You can contact them on Canvas. So just make sure you pay attention to that information. And of course, the course title. It's going to give you the description of the course and the assignments, also the class expectations, like I said, the calendar of dates and deadlines for the courses, text and supplies. This is really important because for some classes, you need to purchase your books and course materials ahead of time or within the first week. Because some of the assignments are going to need you to use that material. So I would say pay attention to this. Try to, you know, be as diligent as possible with getting the materials for your course, because if you have a homework assignment that needs you to read chapters 1 to 3 and you don't have the book, then you're not going to, you know, turn in that assignment, and that's a letter percentage or grade that might affect your overall grade. So just make sure that you're prepared, okay? Also, attendance policies. Some professors, right, well, some classes are completely online and some classes are remote. And so it's two different things. So you can be completely online, I mean, it's 100% online. It's 100% on your pace. So you don't have to meet with the professor or the students in the learning community a time and date. It's not mandatory. But there are classes that have remote hours, and those hours are mandatory. So for instance, my English class had optional times to meet with the class and the professor. But then my math class, we had to meet Mondays and Tuesdays from 12:35 to 2:45. So those were mandatory times. And what that means is that participation grade is going to count within your overall grade for the class. So when there's an attendance policy, make sure you adhere to that policy, because if you don't, that's going to be a percentage of your grade that will decrease, okay? The grading scales, so basically all syllabus in my experience have always had the grading rubric where they tell you assignments are going to be 20% of your grade. Homework is going to be 50% of your grade, you know? So they kind of detail that out for you. So you can kind of calculate yourself on how much, what your grade is going to be in the class with your scores from your tests, assignments, and homework. But the unique thing about Canvas is that it has that already embedded for you. There's a grade category where you can check your grades for the classes already. So that's pretty neat. Student conduct, it's going to have basically telling you how to make sure you behave, basically your behavioral conduct in the class and, you know, towards students and towards the professor, kind of detailing out like, hey, this is the guidelines that you have to follow in order for you to be in this class. So you have to respect, you know, the professor and your fellow peers. So it's going to have that as well. So I want to give some time for any questions that you might have. Please put that in the chat if you have any questions, comments, or if you would like for me to review a section. I know I'm going a little bit fast here, but just want to make sure that we get through everything. So I'm gonna give about 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds for you guys to ask any questions that you might have. And if you have not done so, please sign in. The link is provided within the chat. So please sign in because we want to hear from you. And also we want to follow up with you, okay? We want to follow up with everyone that joined us today to see how you're doing and to see if you need any support. One of the unique things about the Peer Mentor Lab is that we have peer mentors readily available to speak with you, not only regarding your academics, but also personal life issues too. They're basically a friend that's on the same path as you, that you can share your experiences with, that you can ask advice, and you can ask questions. You know, they're experienced in a lot of different areas within the college life system. So definitely, we want to follow up with you. So please sign in. And also, if you are joining us today, please, send your name and the major that you're majoring in. If you're going to graduate in May, this is an interactive, engaging platform, and we want to engage with you all, okay? All right. Now, if there are no questions and no comments, we're going to move on to the next topic, which is how to build a relationship with your professor. This is a really, really important one. I just want to say, with the experience that I have, when you connect with a professor, they're more inclined, and not saying that professor is not going to help, but they're more inclined to see that you're really trying to pass the class. This is one of your goals, and they're going to try to help you as much as they can so you can be successful within the class. Okay, so I definitely think everyone should try to build a connection and relationship with their professors, all of their professors. And I know that that can be time consuming, so we're going to kind of go over the way to do that, okay? So why is it important to build a connection? This can improve your coursework at a high level. So basically, when you have emailed your professor, or you contacted them and say, hey, you know what, I really want you to explain the lecture, on chapter 2.1 to 2.3. I didn't understand it. Could you take some time to kind of go over that with me? So that's going to give you a better understanding of the material that is covered in the class. And so you're going to have a better understanding for your test. So that's going to improve your coursework, and that's going to improve your grade percentage at the end. Build references. So coming to college is not only coming and taking classes and moving on. Coming to college is about networking, right? Building references. Sometimes when you're applying for scholarships and when you're applying for universities, you're going to need reference letters. You're going to need letters of recommendation. And sometimes getting a letter of recommendation and reference letters from your professors are amazing because they've worked with you for 16 weeks. They've worked with you for 8 weeks. And if you pass the class, they'll have nothing but amazing things to say, So you definitely want to build that reference. Also, like I said, networking. Networking is everything. If you're taking a class and you're a sociology major or social worker and you're taking a sociology class, you never know. Your professors have been in the field for many, many years. They might have contact information that might get you an externship, an internship, maybe a job. So definitely networking with your professors is a great way to promote not only your academic, but your professional career, So take that tip, please. And then your career, of course, like I said, it can definitely help you with getting your foot in the door. And, everything is on experience. Not only do you have to have the degree and the credentials for the job, but, nowadays, most employers are looking for you to have experience. And so maybe the professor has some people that can kind of get you in, volunteering at a firm or volunteering at a company that can help you gain that experience. All right, so how to build a connection. So first, you need to introduce yourself. And I'm not talking about with the introduction, kind of like professors have like a welcome introduction discussion that you have to turn in, during your first week of the class. I'm talking about emailing the professor personally and privately and saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm excited for your class. I wanted to get to connect with you on a deeper level because I'm really interested in the course material, emailing them. And that's gonna show that you're serious and that this is important to you. And then know the best way to contact them. Like I said, on the syllabus, it's gonna have contact information for the professor, and they're gonna have their preference listed. They're gonna say the only way to contact me is through Canvas. Only inbox me through Canvas. And that's the only way that you're gonna be able to contact your professor. Some professors say you can email me on my EDU, on Canvas, and I have open office hours for you through Zoom. So just make sure you pay attention to that. Communicate when you're lost, when you're confused, when you're not clearly understanding the assignments or the lecture. Communicate with your professor, okay? And participate. Make sure that you're participating in the discussions. If it is a class that you have to meet on certain days and times, definitely ask questions, definitely, like, if he's asking a question to the class, be the one to answer that question, communicate and participate in the class. All right, guys? All right, utilize office hours. So office hours are important. Office hours is a time outside of the class that the professor has scheduled for a student who has questions or concerns. So make sure you're utilizing it. Like I said, this is for you, okay? Ask questions, get clarification on assignments, communicate with professor if you're struggling, review exams or papers, and get feedback. So all these are things that you can do within the office hours. So take advantage of that. Now, if there's any question, please post that in the chat. I'm gonna give about 3 to 5 seconds for questions, comments, or concerns. If you need me to go back or revisit a section, I'll be more than happy to do so. If you have not done so already, please sign in. We have a sign-in sheet in the chat and we want to follow up with you. Also, we want to hear from you. So if you're joining us, please state your name or your major and we will shout you out. So I'm gonna give 3 to 5 seconds for comments, questions, and or concerns. All right, if there's none, we're gonna go into time management and study skills. And I'm actually gonna have Diane take the floor for this. And so Diane, I'll stop sharing.
Hello, everyone. So let me begin sharing my screen so that you can see the PowerPoint. We will be going over a very important topic, time management and study skills. And it's very important for students to have these skills because it can help you succeed during the semester, but also not feel overwhelmed and be able to achieve your goals as well effectively. And so that's part of why it's so useful to have this time management and study skills. Okay. And so I will also be sharing with you different resources that are available to you that can help you build these skills. These also have helped me, so that's why I want to share them with you because from personal experience, I know that they work. Okay. So let's talk about why it's so important to have good time management. And the reason why is because we have so many roles and responsibilities that we need to learn how to manage all those obligations and times. And it can be very easy to get overwhelmed and lose sight of these goals that we have. So that's why we want to keep some type of calendar so that we can manage our time and things that are going on in life so that we aren't burnt out, we're not feeling overwhelmed, or we're not feeling overly stressed. Because as you know, some of us can get overly stressed and then whatever goal we're trying to meet, it doesn't get accomplished, and then we can stress even more. It can also help us to study more efficiently. And this is important because that way, when we study more efficiently, we can understand the material better and we can do better in our courses. So here are some examples of calendars available to you. So we have a phone calendar, so you can just put any events that are important to you into your phone. those come in with the phone. You don't really have to download any apps unless you're looking for a specific type of calendar. You also have a dry erase calendar, so you can invest in buying a whiteboard calendar that you would be able to outline every week or every month, depending on the one you get. Then we have the notebook type of calendar. So that's where you grab a notebook and you jot down your to-do list, or even a printed out calendar that you just want to keep in there to see what you have coming forward in the week or in the month. You have a Google Calendar, and once again, that is more of an electronic calendar that you can use on your phone or on your computer. And there's many online free calendars that you can use that are printable, or that you could just use digitally like Google. And then you can invest in a planner. So there's different types of planners out there that you can buy. And then you can also use Canvas. So depending if you just like the digital nature of a calendar, or you prefer pen and paper and color and writing things down, there's things available to you that you can use as a calendar for you to plan out your time. Now, here are some strategies when creating a calendar. First of all, you want to see how or what the goal of your calendar is. Is it to see your life as a whole, or to plan things accordingly, or just to plan things about school or work? So you want to see that first, and then from there you want to either separate work, school, and your personal life in different calendars, or if you want to have it all in one, if you're going to put it only in one calendar. Now, the reason why I say this is because sometimes, let's say if you have a calendar for your family, you might not want to use it for your schoolwork as well. It might be that the other person may not need to see your homework assignments, but they might need to see your work and school schedule. So depending on the purpose of the calendar is what you're going to put in it. Now, with your personal calendar, and if you put everything in there, that's fine as well. You can make it fun. You can use color stickers, post-it notes, and also this by adding color can help you differentiate between different class subjects or different aspects of your life, from work, school, and personal within one calendar if you choose to put everything in one. You can also just keep it simple and just use something simple as a black pen or a pencil, and then just write down notes of what you did that day. Now, part of when you're creating a calendar is that you want to prioritize certain events. So let's say you have a doctor's appointment and you already know that you had class that day. Well, maybe either you want to talk to your professor about that, or reschedule that appointment for a different date if possible. If not, then that doctor's appointment does come as a priority, and so you're prioritizing that doctor's appointment over class. So keep that in mind when you're scheduling yourself. See what you have. It's this when you're creating a calendar, it's meant to help you plan out your coursework with your personal life. So it should help you manage and move things around if need be. Now, things that you may need to consider when you're planning out something, especially at the beginning of school or at the beginning of the class, is that the first 2 weeks can get a little crazy, because that's when you're getting introduced to your professors, introduced to the material, and you're going over the syllabus and planning the whole semester out, because that's when they're giving you this list of assignments, and that can be the basis of how your semester will go. You want to plan at the beginning accordingly, so that during the semester it's less overwhelming and you're not falling behind. Also, if you have to commute from work to school, in this case, because school is online, well, if you're coming from work into your class online at home, you may want to calculate your commute time just to make sure that you have enough time to do everything. And also, we recommend you checking your calendar daily and making changes accordingly. So the reason why, it's because things can change, and it's very satisfying after the end of the day or after you finish a certain amount of things that you were supposed to do, to just cross them out it's very satisfying, but it also shows you how accomplished you are and that things do get done. And so this can also be motivating to yourself as well. And of course, sometimes things don't go the way we wanted to. We might have to change things for a different day. So that's why we want to change our calendar accordingly to what's going on in our life, because our calendar is meant to work for us. So what else can we add to our calendar or to our planner? Well, we want to add all of our assignments from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. Why? Because it makes it easier for us to plan accordingly. So if we have a project or an exam, we can see what dates and what times we can study before that exam, so that when that exam comes, we're better prepared for that exam and we're not cramming the night before. Because remember, cramming doesn't really help the night before, especially if you're stressed out and you're not getting enough sleep. Also, you want to, once again, update it weekly or daily, depending on the type of calendar that you have. Now, why do you want to update it so often? Once again, things change. And of course, you may have to add stuff instead of taking things out. So keep that in mind. And also, it helps you see the layout of your week so that if things do change, you have enough time to plan for those changes that are coming up or that may come up. And then another important thing when you're outlining your calendar is that you're scheduling breaks for yourself. Why? Because you don't want to overwhelm yourself and burn yourself out. This, and we will be going over this a little bit later in the presentation, but overwhelming yourself and burning yourself out can not help with retention. It can reduce your retention when you're trying to study and learn something. And as you can see in this picture, it's of a planner. They use color, they outline their week. In this type of planner, they have a week's focus. So they put their week's focus at the top, they color coded it. And so to this person who created this calendar, this color makes it more a piece of attractive to the eye because of all this color. And as you can see as well, they outline their work for certain hours, and also if they had a presentation during that day. So that's why it's very nice to have this outlay, but of course you want it to work for you. So it's up to you how you want to organize your planner. Okay. Other things that you want to add. Once again, as I mentioned before, your work schedule, your class schedule. So you want to see when you have class and when you have work so that they may not overlap. Or if you have other family events or other personal events, they may not overlap and you have to cancel one over the other. You also want to schedule your self-study and homework time so that you have a set time to study and a set time to do some homework. Also, jot down, again, exam and presentation dates. And why is that? So that you can outline the specific days and times that you want to study so that you're not cramming the night before. As well as presentation days and project days. Project days are, or as you know, projects aren't done overnight. So that way you can plan a little bit every certain amount of time to that project and finish a little every week, so that when the time comes that you have to present, you didn't have to do it all in one night, and then you're more nervous than what you could have been if you had done it earlier, and maybe even receive feedback over the presentation. And once again, any personal events that you may have, you want to include them, because that way you can plan around these special events that you have and that are important to you. And you can see that in this example, this person color coded and jotted down from study times to what time they were going to eat, to their practice times, and then their classes. This person seems that they're a student full time, so it doesn't seem like they work. So that's why they didn't put that in here. But it's important to note that they did put in this study time into their schedule to better manage their time. Now, other important dates that you want to add to your calendar. Your registration date and time. This date is important because this tells you when you can start registering for your classes. And of course, you always want to register hopefully the closest or on that day and time, because that gives you a better chance of getting the classes that you wanted to get. This date, you can find it on my SDCCD under my classes. So keep that in mind. They should be coming out in November. So make sure that you're checking my SDCCD. Now, you also want to jot down your first day of classes. So that being said, you want to make sure that you know the start date of your class and then the end date of your class. This is especially important, not only when the semester begins, but also when classes that you are taking are short term. So they may start later in the semester and earlier in the semester. So you want to make sure that you know those start dates so that you're not falling behind when the class starts. Now, FAFSA deadlines. So you want to make sure you know the FAFSA deadlines, or even when the FAFSA application first comes out. In this case, the time it comes out is October 1st. So that's another important date that you want to put in your calendar, because that's you get more chance of getting more grants during that first day. And you want to make sure that you're getting the max amount of financial aid assistance if that's what you need. Also, any drop or withdrawal deadlines, as we mentioned before in this presentation, this can be the difference between getting a letter grade of an F or getting your money back in a form of a refund when you're dropping a course and you no longer see the need of taking it. Also, exam or essay due dates. So once again, you always want to plan ahead, and you wouldn't want to have an important date overlap with an exam date. So make sure that you're planning ahead and that you're putting all of this in your calendar. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to comment or ask them in the comment section. We are answering them, and we want to answer them. We want to make sure that you're getting your questions answered, as we are in October. And it's been about a month or 2 months that we've all been in classes. So it's not too late to, if we need to work on something, we can work on it during the semester, since we're almost halfway. Okay. So now let's go over some study skill tips. So when you are studying and when you're taking notes, you want to be selective in your note taking. You don't want to write everything down because that would defeat the purpose of taking notes. You want to jot down only the important information. You also want to practice something called active listening. And active listening involves concentrating and thinking about what is being presented and being able to explain it back in your own words. So that shows that you're understanding the information rather than memorizing it word for word. You also want to schedule out timeframes throughout your week in increments that are spaced out to help you better retain the information. So as you can see in this graph, this person has two options, and everyone has two options. You can either give yourself a certain amount of time every day to review the information, or you can only review it, or maybe not even review it, just remember it that first day of class and then forget about it the rest of the month. This graph outlines then what not to do and what you should be doing. You don't want to cram the night before of your exam and study all the material, because as you can see in the graph, on day one, when the material is presented, that's the time where you better remember all of this information. Versus towards day 30, or as the week and the month progresses, you will be forgetting this information if you don't review it. And so when you're trying to study for it, you may not recall everything as you should. And when you're studying, you may end up with more questions than answers. Versus when you're reviewing the information a little bit every day, you can better retain the information. You're actively recalling this information without having to cram, and you have better understanding of the material. Also, because you're doing it early, you're able to formulate questions. So if you didn't understand something or a concept, you still have enough time to ask the professor before the exam or before the project or assignment that will be coming up on that specific concept or lecture. Now, you want to know your learning style. So no one has an specific learning style where it's you only learn in an auditory manner or you're only a visual learner. All of these overlap. And so that's why I like this graph a lot, because there's not one way that you learn. There are many ways that you can learn and better retain the information. So you want to understand what's the best way for you. Now, there's auditory learners with kinesthetic learners, there's visual learners with kinesthetic learners, and then there's visual and auditory learners, and these overlap. And then there's all three, but you want to understand what's the best way that you learn a specific subject or concept. And this isn't the same for everyone, and it cannot be the same for the same person for different subjects. So keep that in mind. You may not learn math the same way that you'd be learning history. This in turn affects the way that you take notes. So here are a couple of note-taking techniques, and based off of how you best learn a concept or a subject is how you want to be taking your notes. Now, whichever type of note-taking strategy you do, you want to make sure that you're identifying the main idea and that you're not trying, once again, to write everything down. You want to write what's important. And you also want to make sure that the note-taking format is working for you. So here are 3 examples of note-taking formats. So you have the outline. This can be helpful when you're writing a report, so you have a better understanding of what you're going to write about. You have 3 main ideas, and then you're supporting details on each under each main idea. This can also be with concepts when you're learning concepts, the main concept, and then you can jot down important information on each concept. The outline can overlap with the Cornell note format, where on one side you have a column which is empty and your main notes are on the right side. And then some people use the Cornell notes that on the side you can ask questions or jot your thoughts, so that when you're reviewing your notes, you can remember, oh, I had this question and I asked this, and this is what the professor mentioned or answered, and you have that written in there. Or if you're in class and wrote down questions when you were reviewing your notes, you can ask them then and there with the professor. What I like about Cornell notes too is that you have the space to make a summary at the end. And so this can help you when you're reviewing your notes, understand what the notes and or whatever you're studying is about, and then you can review your notes for important details that you need to know. And then we have the flow chart or charting type of note taking. And this, as you can see, you can just make a flow chart of a certain topic. Once again, your main idea in this case, in this example, is matter. So it seems like it's a science subject. And then they put, okay, so in matter, there are 3 types of matter. And then they outlined important information that they need to know on how each thing connects. This is good for history as well, if you're needing to outline a timeline or the importance of certain events, or even if you're writing an essay to see what options you have in what you're wanting to write. And so once again, it's up to you if you want to use color, how you want to organize your notes. But when you're taking your notes, you want to make sure that they're legible and organized. So you want to be able to read them. You want to be able to understand just from looking them, what are the important concepts that you're trying to learn. So use color and highlight these important concepts. You can doodle in your notes. So it doesn't all have to be writing. You can draw an idea on there, because these are your notes. You will be the one that will be going back to them to review the information, and you are going to be the one needing to understand that information. I highly encourage you to rewrite your lecture notes, because this can help you review the information, and also as questions arise, you can write them down in the margin, as when if you cram, let's say, and review them the night before only, yes, you will be able to write these notes, but you won't have the chance to be able to ask the professor. So when you're rewriting your lecture notes in a timely fashion, you can add these questions in the margin, and then for next class, you can ask these questions so that you know that you're understanding the information and not having a cram. Also, you want to understand when you study the best. So if you're an early bird, you're able to wake up and you have energy in the morning, you want to study in the morning rather than at night. And same thing with people who are able to concentrate better at night. They may want to schedule themselves a study session at night, because that's when they're more awake and they're better able to understand what they're reviewing. So make sure that you're studying when you have the most energy throughout your day. Okay. Now, here are some study success tips. So remember that when you're studying, you want to make sure that you have a set study space, and it doesn't have to be super fancy. For a number of years, I didn't have a specific desk to study on. So it doesn't have to be a very fancy study space with a desk. It can be on your bed or on your sofa. The point is that you want to set the mood to where your study space is organized, there are no distractions for yourself, and you're able to accomplish your goals when you're trying to study. You want to schedule breaks for yourself. So make sure that you're getting up to grab some water or a snack. Although I highly encourage you to prepare these beforehand to reduce your distractions. Also, make sure that you have a goal in mind. So you don't just want to sit down and study. You want to see what you need to study, and from there, be able to study what you need. And for this, you can create a to-do list. Going back to your calendar or your planner, you can either write it out in there or on a separate piece of paper. See what you need to study so that you have a set goal in your mind to what you want to accomplish at the end of your study session. Also, to reduce distractions, if you really like music, I recommend having this playlist beforehand so that you may not have that a distraction to where you're looking for that perfect song to concentrate to, and then you end up spending 30 minutes up to an hour on YouTube on something completely different than what you were supposed to study. So if anyone has any questions, we're happy to assist you. If you want more details on how we do this planner calendar, I have my own planner. So let me stop share for a second. There we go. So this is my planner. I decided to invest in one. So I don't know if you can see it very well. I outline my week so I can plan accordingly to my work schedule and my classes. I have a to-do list for the week. I find this especially useful because that way I can plan my week accordingly to my assignments, and I can plan my study times. Maybe I can't have a consistent study schedule, but at least what I can have is I know what I have to accomplish by the end of the week. I know the due dates, and I can plan accordingly to my week when I want to accomplish or finish these assignments. So now on study success, support services, and resources. So there are many support services and resources out there that can help you if you're struggling in a specific subject. And we want to make sure that you are aware of what services are out there so you can take advantage of them. So once again, we are in October. So let's say you see yourself that you're already not feeling so sure about a certain subject or a certain class. Right now is the perfect time to assess that. Maybe talk to a counselor, talk to us, see what options and what resources you have. So first of all, it's the English Tutoring Center. You can find more information on the San Diego City College website, but we will also be sharing their link on the YouTube chat below. I highly encourage you to check them out. The cool thing about the English Tutoring Center, so they are virtually online. Right now, campus is closed, but they are on Canvas. So you can add them like a class on Canvas where you can submit your papers. It doesn't have to be specifically for English. You might have a philosophy paper that you have to turn in, or a history paper that you have to turn in. The point is that you can submit it to them and then they can review it for you and give you feedback. They do have a very good time frame in getting back to you. I highly encourage you to check them out. Of course, it's something that you do not want to do last minute. You want to have some time to do it, so plan accordingly so that you can have enough time to receive their feedback and then revise your assignment. Then we have the Tutorial Learning Center. So they have a certain amount of subjects available to them that they can help you with. They have tutors free online. They have Canvas tutoring and e-tutoring. They should be getting back to you. They also have a good response time. And you can check them out at the link that we will be posting below. It's a fantastic resource if you're struggling in any of the subjects that they have available. And once again, it's a free resource for tutoring that you can have. And I believe you can also schedule one-on-one with a tutor. So I highly encourage you, if you see that you're struggling in a certain subject and they have that subject available, reach out to them. They are there to help you. And then last and not least, we have the Remote Online Student Services website. And this, we go more in detail on our first session. But basically, this website is on the San Diego City College website, and it's a list of different departments and their contact information. So it ranges from admissions and enrollment to how to contact the bookstore, to even career and transfer center and the tutoring centers. So right here, you can see all the resources, all the departments that you may want to contact. They are here for you so that you can contact them and connect with the specific resources. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them on the chat below. And we want to thank you so much for watching and joining us for this presentation. We will be posting an evaluation of the presentation and what was presented. We want to make sure that we're presenting the material that is that better helps you, and we're helping you find the resources that better help you specifically. So feel free to let us know if there's a certain topic that you wish that we would go over. You can also tune in next Friday for our last City Ready session. As we mentioned before, it's going to be a special one because we will be combining both sessions into one, all in one, for our last session of our City Ready sessions. It'll be at the same time, Friday, 11 a.m. To 12 p.m. So feel free, it'll be on the same page, so you can join us live on our YouTube page. But again, you can subscribe and you will be notified, when, we go live at that time.
Yes. So please join us. We would love to have you. And we also just want to go over the peer mentor lab virtual services that are available to you at PM, and you can call at 619-800-2739. Once again, it's 619-800-2739. You can also email us at sdcitycollegepeeradvocates@gmail.com. Please note that it takes about 24 hours for us to get back to you. We are receiving high calls and emailing, but we work very hard to get back to each and every student and to connect with you all. Also, you can request an individual appointment with one of our peer mentors, and you can do that by clicking on the link that's going to be provided in the chat, which is bit.ly/FYS Zoom Assistance. And so these are the services that are here for you, but not only do we have these contact modalities, we also have the virtual city virtual support hour, where you're able to ask your general questions, you're able to interact with us as a group or with the peer mentors individually on your one-on-one specifics. So definitely we have daily times for our city virtual support hour, and that is throughout the whole semester. We are dedicating an hour each day for you guys to join us and get some information in a timely manner. And also with our virtual city support hours, we're very active and heavily on social media platforms, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are always on there providing how-to videos, web tips, information, important deadlines, updated important resources for you guys to receive. And on our YouTube channel, we post our how-to videos as well as our web tip videos. And Diane, is there anything else that we're missing?
Just once again, join us. We're happy to have you. Call us. We're here for you. And we want to make sure that you are all supported.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. Enjoy your weekend, take care, and we will see you next Friday. Bye.